Jagex is actively sabotaging me. You see, in my last video I showcased a useful tip where you can talk to a Varlamore master farmer and they will stop moving around. This allows you to pickpocket them much easier than anywhere else in the game and makes the activity a lot more chill. Jagex didn't like that, so a couple of weeks ago in a blog post under the other changes, they mentioned how this has now been removed. But little do they know, I am an absolute menace to society, so I'm gonna show you how to still do it even after Jagex tried to fix it. If you run a little bit east of the previous location I showcased, you come across this house that has a rope spawn in it. Inside the house there is another master farmer and there is a tile you can trap this farmer on. It will never move after it's been trapped and you can still enjoy your chill thieving method to gather some seeds. Also, unlike the previous method, I doubt Jagex will remove this one because it's not a bug. Trapping NPCs has been a thing for many years now and it doesn't really go against the game rules. So if you want to take a break from your usual thieving training, this is a great place to AFK some farming seeds. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about some interesting OSRS facts that you might not know about. Did you know that you can use a spade on your spirit tree inside your player-owned house to rotate it around? After some painful and hilarious dialogue with the spirit tree, you can rotate it without needing to rotate the entire room itself. It doesn't have any massive benefits, the distance to teleport still remains the same, but I've seen people try to rotate the entire room to get the right direction, and this makes it a little bit faster. Also, you can use something called Goblin decorations that you get from a Christmas holiday event on your spirit tree. If you once again go to building mode and use it on the spirit tree, it changes the asset to Christmas themed spirit tree. Next one, we're speeding through this. I've been slowly trying to get a max cape on my main account and honestly, most of the time I'm just trying to AFK as much as possible while playing other games. I did have a problem though. I have to constantly glance over my second monitor to see if I'm still training or have I gone idle. That's where I found this plugin called AFK Overlay. Essentially, it opens a small movable window that you can put anywhere on your monitor and it will let you know if your character is idle or not. So in this clip, if I stop woodcutting, it turns the window blue, and if I click on the tree again, it turns it opaque. And I can put this overlay on other games I play on my main monitor because it always stays on top. I can also change the settings to give audio notifications instead of visual cues, and it's just overall a very good plugin to have while I'm playing other games. But you know, I still want to AFK in Runescape. I only like to keep the prayer and combat stats on when I'm doing my AFK crab training, and when I'm actively playing other games, I like to turn on both audio and visual indicators because sometimes I still miss if it's only one of them. So I hope that helps with your AFK training just like it did with mine. But let's talk about Varlamore Part 3 now. I already briefly mentioned crabbing, so let me quickly give you a useful tip here. About 1 year ago, Jagex reworked the smaller prayers. Now using the 5% boost to your stats, drains 1 prayer point in 36 seconds. This gives you a nice small boost without almost any downside, and you can have it turned on for over 30 minutes before you run out of prayer. Secondly, if you're using moonlight moths near the crab, you can restore prayer points up to 4 players including yourself. The other people crabbing do need to have accept 8 turned on to get the prayer points as well, but if they do, not only do you restore your own prayer, but you can help other noobs out as well. And speaking of noobs, this is more of a beginner tip. Most people already know about this, but if this ever happened to you, where you start planning your PVM trip, you set up your inventory, you take out your gear, your potions, and then oopsie daisy, you click on bank inventory button, and now you have to start all over again. Well, if you go to your bank settings menu at the top right corner, you can disable inventory and gear button completely, so they don't even show up in your bank at all. On top of that, you can disable the bank tutorial button that shows up right next to the bank close button. If anything, this is really useful on mobile, especially if you're like me and you have fat fingers, which means, you know, you keep misclicking all the freaking time. Okay, let's get back to the game itself. This is a pretty obvious one, but as someone who just started a new secret Ironman account that I'm not gonna tell you about, there is a magic shop in Dal Declan that sells cosmic and nature runes. No longer I have to hassle Ali in Al-Qarid for those runes or even go to the mage arena in Wilderness. It has a stock of 30 nature and cosmic runes, and literally nobody comes here. It's a really good alternative option for early Ironman accounts. Also, there is a huge number of imp spawns in Gastori basement. If you climb down the ladder over here, there are 4 imps trapped inside that will never leave. Now you can do a couple of things here. Firstly, getting the 4 beads for imp catcher quest in case you missed it. Secondly, catching them for imp in a box hunter training method. I talked about this item a lot in my videos and how useful it is, because essentially you can deposit your items from anywhere on the map. The downside always was catching these imps, which has now been made much easier. Also, when it comes to hunting them, you get approximately 75,000 hunter experience per hour, and you know, that does add up over time. And finally, you can get the imp scroll much faster now. Since it's a 1 in a 5,000 drop and it's quite extensive grind, it is much better to have imps clumped up in one place rather than spread out in the overworld map where they can teleport away. Also, speaking of teleports, Jagex added a new NPC with the Varlamore 3 update called the Mountain Guide. And this guide takes you straight from Quetzalcoatl Gorge to Auburn. I used this NPC a lot when I did my farming runs because they also added a new tree patch right next to the teleport. And you know, it was just a fast way to get here. In fact, Jagex had multiple new farming patches with this update. There's a Galquat, Flower and Fruit tree patch in Gastori. There's a normal tree patch in Auburn, and they have a very fast and easy access. So it's definitely advisable to add them into your farming runs going forward because you get approximately 17% more experience by using these patches. And for the Gastori patch, just use your pendant of 80s after you activate this statue over here and it teleports you right next to the village. When it comes to the Fletching minigame itself, actually, you know what, I'm making an extensive guide on it as we speak right now, and I did get 99 Fletching doing this activity, but that's for an entire video on its own, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to get that notification. But I did get tons of these bales of flax which give 25 each, and I think for the first time in Runescape's history, the Gandarin medium diary finally has an use. You see, if you get the flax spool and bales of flax, the Gandarin medium diary reward allows you to spin it 33% faster. Since you never have to bank with the spool, you can stay here basically infinitely. I will tell you, if this was 2007, a 12-year-old me would be screaming in excitement right now. I mean, there is definitely use for these methods. If you're an Ironman, you can even use the lunar spell called Spin Flax. Technically, you can still do the infinite method. Just open up one bale of flax, spin them into bowstrings using the lunar spell, and put them straight into the spool. This allows you to do other activities at the same time, like training agility while getting roughly 90,000 magic and crafting experience per hour. And after you turn those bowstrings into bows, you even get the money back that you spent on runes. Okay, we have a few more to go, and I love this one. I said it before in a video, but it always surprises players when I tell them that you can turn your leftover spirit seeds for a hard seed pack at the Farmer's Guild. Just talk to Chain and you get tons of amazing value out of this. So please, keep picking up your spirit seeds during PVM grinds even if you already have the spirit trees everywhere, because you get approximately 100,000 GP for every single seed you pick up, despite the item itself being untradeable. Oh, and one more thing before I call it. If you're planning to do the Elite Falador Diary, one of the most tedious tasks is getting the rank 1300 to buy the white armor plate body and plate legs. Previously, you had to go to Taverley Dungeon, put down a cannon and spend approximately 3 hours hunting these down one by one. But after Wildcat Sleeps came out, the Elite Black Knights now give you 6 points per 1 KC instead of 1 point in Taverley Dungeon. And there is a spot right next to the entrance that has 6 warriors without any mages or rangers right next to each other. Since this is a multi-combat zone, you can use ancient spells here. Or better yet, some players are using Serp Helm with a blowpipe to just venom them as a more chill method. Since you get 6 points per 1 KC, this grind will take you like an hour at max, and it's so much faster now than it used to be. The only downside is that occasionally they will swap prayers if you don't use the venom method, so you do need to bring 2 combat styles to make up for it. But if you have Wildcat Sleeps completed and you want to complete this Elite Diary task faster, this place is much better than Taverley Dungeon. And finally, to end the video, this 3 million GP wand is currently one of the best budget magic weapons in the game. Yes, you heard that right. The Dragon Hunter wand is currently 3 million GP and it has so many uses in the game. First of all, Jagex buffed the drop rate by quite a lot. It's a 1 out of 105 at the moment, so if you're an Ironman, the grind shouldn't take that long. Secondly, you can cast ancient spells on it, which is really good if you're doing bursting tasks for Slayer. Since it has a 10% magic strength bonus, that amplifies your damage even more compared to something like Ancient Scepter that has only 5% magic strength bonus. You can even bring it to something like Rune Dragons, since it's a one-handed weapon and actually has better DPS than something like a Fang, depending on your gear. It's also very good if you're learning Chambers of Zerek, since Olm Mage Hand got a weakness buff. You can even use it on layouts like Vespula and Ice Demon for fire elemental weakness. All of them work excellent with the Dragon Hunter wand. And honestly, I've seen even people use it at Gemstone Grab to AFK their magic training. Like I said, it's a very versatile weapon. Overall, it's a nice budget option to have when doing magic combat. The 3 million GP cost is what really won me over. But okay, that's it from me. It's good to be back. I'm gonna continue with my Maxscape grind now, but I'll see you all in a few days with another video. Bye!